People across the nation have lost jobs after posts about Orange Man attempted assassination. So it's not just Tenacious D bandmate Kyle Gass in the wake of the violent assassination attempt on former President Orange Man's life. Plenty of people took to social media to make jokes and comments, and they're reaping the consequences. Thank you. Call it what it is, consequence culture. School employees, a restaurant worker, a fire chief, and a political aide have all lost their jobs or resigned after outrage over their posts, according to statements made by their employers and news reports. Yeah, a lot of them as well. It could just be a case that they're still going to be on as a contractor, but technically they're not an employee anymore, so they could get away with this. So meanwhile, Jack Black, the other band member of the Tenacious D duo, said he was blindsided as he announced he was ending the rest of their tour and would pause any plans to work with Gass again in the future. Yeah, after he got canceled too. I still think like the reason they canceled the tour, it's not just the threats of deportation. It was also that the venues were canceling on him. Like, nope, we can't be associated with this. And then Jack Black is probably at risk as well from Nintendo. So Gass briefly complained on stage that the Minecrafter had missed, a sentiment repeated in various forms across social media in the hours after the attempt. Celebrities' comments are certainly in the spotlight after the tragic incident, but regular people need to be careful about what they say too, even if it's meant in jest, communications experts say. The rest of us know this. We've known this for a while. You would have known this too if you didn't have far left privilege and you hadn't been getting sheltered from the consequences all this time. All the rest of us were already living like this. Welcome to the club. So junkie by an assassination attempt that left a citizen dead is going too far. No matter how private your life is, everyone has an audience, said Karen North, a professor of digital social media at the University of Southern California and a psychologist. There's always an audience for people misbehaving. Yeah, that's why if you're going to do something like this, make sure that you're doing it under an account that has no ties to your real info. Yeah, at least then worst that can happen is you might lose your anonymous account, and then you just got to move on. An instructor at Bellarmine University in Louisville, Kentucky, was put on unpaid leave over what the university officials said Monday was an offensive and unacceptable social media post. By Tuesday, John James would no longer be employed there, though it's not clear if he resigned or was fired. Even if he resigned, he was probably fired. So the Louisville Courier-Journal, part of USA Today Network, reported, hey, at least these guys are being, at least they're giving their disclosure here. That's good. So James' comments on the Minecrafter missing were screenshotted and posted by conservative social media account Libs of TikTok. So actions, words and actions that condone violence are unacceptable and contrary to our values, which call for respecting the intrinsic value and dignity of every individual. Jason Sissel, the assistant vice president of communications at Bellarmine, said in a statement to the Courier-Journal. Yeah, and my personal opinion, even if it's tasteless, I think people should be allowed to make jokes about tragedy all they want, but only if it's evenly applied. Now, if you think you should have the right to make jokes about tragedy and you wouldn't have to face any consequences, whereas I should be fired for doing the same, no, we either both have free speech or neither of us do. Yeah, you get to pick. Which one do you want? James didn't respond to a request for comment. Probably for the best. You don't want to do that with the media fucking around. Similar comments about the Minecrafting made by other non-celebrities have prompted backlash too. Another post by Libs of TikTok highlighted comments made by a worker at a Tupelo Honey Southern Kitchen and Bar, a restaurant with locations in several states. The restaurant later said in a post the worker was no longer employed and had violated its social media policy. And this is why I have no social media presence under my real name. So I don't have to worry about this shit. Now, I'm quite sure if and when I get doxxed, I'm quite sure what I've done anonymously until then will come back and cause problems. But at least for now, it's not a problem. So that's all I really care about. Others out of a job include a middle school behavior facilitator in South Dakota and Pennsylvania fire chief. In Wayne, Pennsylvania, the Wayne Business Association said its secretary resigned after a post about the Minecrafting. Social media, this is important, but again, this is something we've known for years, but the other side is just now learning. Social media is the town square. Be careful what you say online. The idea that people should be fired for their social media posts has come from all sides of the political spectrum in recent years. Well, which side started it? Yeah, I love how it's now a both sides thing. So one side has been doing it exclusively for years, and then the other side does it once or twice. Oh, this is a problem on both sides. Uh-huh. Yeah, but this time people should be able to agree some comments are inappropriate. When it comes to things like wishing someone died, there's nothing more horrible than making public statements about that, she said. Yeah, and this in particular is specifically something the far left has been putting in place. That was a wishing harm on others, like is explicitly a bannable offense in a lot of platforms. So if they write the rules and then they get mad that we expect them to follow the rules they wrote, cry me a river. No, man, you're the one that forced this on the rest of us. You can live with it too. If you don't like it, you never should have implemented it. Now, social media removes the social cues we get from typical interactions. If you start making an appropriate comment or joke among work colleagues, for example, you might notice them cringe or look away and then apologize and walk back what you said. When you post something online, the reaction comes later, North said. So the desire to be the first to share an idea with your circle might prevent you from asking yourself whether you'd say this to an audience or whether it should be kept around the dinner table with immediate family, North said. Oh, you can't even trust that. Like a lot of people's family have fucking, ratted them out. So, and remember the cardinal rule of social media: once it's out there forever. Yeah, and it's not private either, contrary to what you may be led to believe. Social media has become the town square, she said, where people are put in the stocks and held out there to be humiliated because of their actions. Yeah, well, when can we start throwing tomatoes at them? Like, is there any way, like, can someone invent a technology where we could virtually throw tomatoes at people? Outside of Fortnite, anyway. I know Fortnite has that. That would be so damn useful, man. Yeah, decorum is a lost art. Yeah, because there's no consequences. Like I saw this video on Twitter actually, fairly recently about a guy who, like it was a road rage incident where a guy was, reeing on someone else. Like he pulled out his gun, walked up to the other guy's car, and was like banging on his window and banging on his door, and the other guy just aired him out. And I'm just like, man, if that guy that was flipping his shit thought that there was even the possibility that the other person might end him, you think he would have acted differently? But yeah, I think that's the decorum is a lost art because consequences are a lost art in a lot of cases. Like all these far left lunatics have been pushing things too far because they haven't been punished for how far they've pushed things yet. They will keep going further and further across the line until they actually meet with some consequences. And that's what's happening now. And now they're finally meeting with some consequences. So you're actually seeing haven't you guys noticed there's a lot less far left shit talk? At least the shit talk like where they come to us just to start trouble. That's because they're scared now. They know that unlike previously, that it's not only us that'll get punished for what we say. Yeah, even Mark Kern posted about that earlier today. That like the usual hate comments he gets, like in replies to all his posts, aren't there anymore. Either he blocked them all, or they're deciding like, yeah, this ain't worth losing my job for.